Tonight on Prime Business, economist Dr. Ishmael Yamson identifies the lack of prudent spending by successive governments as Ghana's biggest challenge rather than revenue mobilization.
It deliver value higher than the pay they are getting. But if it's just like give people jobs, which takes away, then it doesn't matter how much revenue you collect.
The Bank of Ghana approves 50 pesos per share as dividend for GCB shareholders.
This reflects the board's ongoing confidence in the bank's strength and its future prospects. Our strong and resilient balance sheet, diversified business mix.
Plus, discussions underway between government and stakeholders to resolve export license issues in the mining sector. We'll hear from Sector Minister Samuel Abojinapo.
Scheduled to hold detailed discussions with the leadership of the chamber, during which all outstanding challenges confronting the members of the chamber will be discussed and hopefully addressed.
All these stories and more coming shortly, but we'll begin with commodities. Tonight, economist Dr. Ishmael Yamson has identified the lack of prudent spending by successive governments as the country's biggest challenge rather than revenue mobilization. Now, this is coming on the back of recent concerns that raising enough revenue will help deal with the current challenges facing the economy. But Dr. Yamson disagrees.
I'm not saying that the circumstances then are the same as today.
Now, yeah.
But I'm saying, why was he able to do all that and we struggle? And then somebody will say, oh, but he had one party state. That's fine. If one party state, then Rawlings, who ran this country, one party for 90 years, should have created a heaven out of Ghana. It's not. It's not.
So it's an expenditure. If we're able to cap our expenditure,
look, because
the critical
our politicians are very good at creating recurrent expenditures, because that's what the people want to hear, right? And then you create it, and they say, I'm going to give employment to the youth. That's fine. But you also have to ask a question. How am I going to pay them? And what value would they deliver to the economy? It's not just even paying them. They should deliver value higher than the pay they are getting. But if it's just like give people jobs, which takes away, then it doesn't matter how much revenue you collect. I'm sure even if we double our revenue today, we'll still be where we are. But we'll find ways and means to spend the money.
Shareholders of GCB have been rewarded with a dividend payment of 50 pesos per share for the year 2021. Now, this follows the approval by the Bank of Ghana, of which the bank recorded a strong growth in profitability for last year, despite harsh economic conditions. Addressing shareholders at its annual general meeting in Accra, the board chair, Jude Kofi Arthur, said disbursement of dividend will commence soon. Here's more in this report.
The bank grew its share price on the stock market by about 29% for the year, from the price of above 4 pesos to 5 cedis 24 pesos. It also recorded a profit before tax of 831.98 million cedis, an increase of more than 36% over the previous year. According to the board chairman, Jude Arthur, shareholders deserve a dividend for their immense support.
The board recommends a dividend of 0.50 cedis per share, representing a 100% increase from 2020. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my understanding that the Bank of Ghana has approved this. This This reflects the board's ongoing confidence in the bank's strength and its future prospects. Our strong and resilient balance sheet, diversified business mix.
Managing Director of GCB Bank PLC, Kofi Adumako, attributes the growth to customer satisfaction and innovations introduced by the bank.
Broadened our medium of engaging our customers through a more efficient platform, and we are beginning to understand the needs of our customers better. We also managed to diversify our products and therefore diversify our income. And we are looking forward to doing so in the coming year. So it was basically from analyzing and understanding the customer expectation.
The shareholders also ratified the appointment of Daniel Tweneboa Esirifi Esquire and Dr. Stephen Amwa as non-executive directors of the bank.
Now, the Millennium Challenge Corporation says even though it was expecting a private sector participant in the energy sector under the Power Compact deal, the decision by government of Ghana to, however, cancel the PDS deal is welcome. Per the deal, the U.S. government was expected to commit over $300 million into the power sector to help transmit electricity across the West African region. There is more in this report.
Through the $316 million MCC Ghana Power Compact, the corporation partnered with the government of Ghana to accelerate growth and reduce poverty by investing in reliable and affordable electricity to Ghanaian businesses, institutions and households. As part of the deal, the government of Ghana was required to allow private participation to enhance efficiency. Speaking at a short ceremony after the 5-year compact deal ended last month, the Deputy Chief Executive Officer of the Millennium Challenge Corporation, Mahmoud Ba, said his outfit respects the government of Ghana's decision to cancel the PDS deal with the Electricity Company of Ghana.
In your question about the PSP, for us at the end of the day, this is a Ghanaian decision, right? We, like I said earlier, we work by respecting the decision of the country. Yes, we fully agree that private sector participation in the Electricity Company of Ghana is required. In order for us to have a sustainable solution, you cannot continue doing things the way you do it. You have to inject some new perspectives. You have to inject new resources. The government just cannot do it all. It is just impossible for the government to do it all. The demand is just too high. But we respect the decision of the government, and the government has committed to that private sector participation. It wasn't the right time when we first tried it, but as we spoke to government, they are, as we speak, addressing the issue of private sector participation. And it's not something they don't know. But as I say, growth and electricity goes hand in hand. The more you grow, the more electricity you need.
Meanwhile, the Chief Executive Officer of the Millennium Development Authority, Martin Eson Benjamin, said the investment has equipped ECG to deliver reliable electricity.
We've done 2 major PSPs in Ghana. We've completed 2 primary substations. We've worked on LV bifurcation, which is a low voltage bifurcation in many of the districts in Accra, on the ECG. We've also done work on street lights. We put in almost 15,000 luminaires to replace the old ones, and also make sure that we've refurbished the old street lights which are not functioning. But these are one among many. I believe that my colleagues here would also talk to you about what we do for trying to include our ladies in this sector, because many times, we've been struggling to get our ladies go to university, take on science subjects, and want to come back and work in the sector, and they are unfortunately not able. In the last number of years, about 3 years, we've taken about 600 young girls.
Away from that, the Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Bujinapo, says discussions are underway to resolve export license issues in the mining sector. According to him, export licensing in Ghana is a setback in improving the sector, as investors will be forced to look at other African countries with less cumbersome procedures. Speaking at the 94th annual general meeting of the Ghana Chamber of Mines, Mr. Jinapor revealed that a closed-door meeting will be held with stakeholders to address industry concerns.
Under the Minerals and Mining Act 2006 Act 703, an individual needs a license to buy and deal in minerals. Therefore, the export of gold out of Ghana can only be done under a license by an entity. The Minister of Lands and Natural Resources, Samuel Abu-Jinapor, has described procedures in trading minerals as a disincentive to foreign investors compared to other West African countries.
I am scheduled to hold detailed discussions with the leadership of the Chamber, during which all outstanding challenges confronting the members of the Chamber will be discussed and hopefully addressed. I know, for instance, that export license is an issue, and we will work to find a solution to it. We are no longer an island on the mining map. The whole West African region is becoming a mining enclave. So if we don't put the policies and put the frameworks in place, if the man brings his dollar here and there are too many bottlenecks, permit here, permit there, and that is why I'm going to resolve the issue of export license if it turns out that that is a major issue.
Give and take, within a week or two, we should be able to.
Dr. Suleiman Akoni is Chief Executive of Ghana Chamber of Mines. According to him, his outfit is strategically positioning itself to create a viable space to attract more investments.
I think it's been tough attracting investment into not just Ghana, but within the sub-region. And that's where you need to reposition yourself, because the whole world is actually going through a turmoil. It's actually run through most of the conversations at this conference. So how do you really position yourself so that you can become the beacon? And not necessarily, discounting your fiscal regime, but the kind of positioning which allows investors to feel desired, to feel wanted within the jurisdiction, so that instead of moving their investment into one particular jurisdiction, they will decide that Ghana is the place to be, and therefore they would want to bring their money, their US dollars, into Ghana to come and invest.
The Chamber held its 94th annual general meeting. At the event, outgoing President Eric Esubontin transitioned power to Joshua Mototi, who is Chief Executive of Goldfields.
In 2022, we expect most of the mines to operate at a steady level and thereby address the challenges that confronted the operations in 2021. In that regard, we project an increase in gold output of producing member companies between 2.9 million ounces and 3 million ounces. If you recall, last year was 2.8 million. So we're expecting some increase this year, and a corresponding increase in revenue and other benefits to government and other stakeholders. If I could just talk, Honorable Minister, a little bit about making Ghana a mining service hub. Ladies and gentlemen, it's our collective task to position Ghana as the Mecca of mining in Africa and a mining service hub in West Africa.
This year's AGM was themed Advancing a Legacy of Sustainable and Responsible Mining Through Innovation and Partnership.
Global agric researchers are projecting a difficult 2023 for the poultry industry if local solutions are not adapted by African countries. This has come in the face of Joy News' investigations into the poultry industry titled The Broken Chain, which exposes how vulnerable the poultry industry has become. Next on Food Chain, Prince Appiah has been speaking to scientists, researchers at the just-ended All-Tech One Ideas Conference in Lexington, Kentucky, in the United States of America, and has filed this report.
Welcome to another episode of Food Chain with me, Prince Appiah. In this edition, we'll bring you live coverage from Kentucky, Lexington in the U.S. We'll be talking about global agriculture.
Agriculture will make the big difference in feeding people and minimizing climate.
The climate crisis is the biggest challenge of our time. Everyone is needed and everyone is welcome.
Agriculture truly has the opportunity to be the world's hero, to be the solution to malnutrition.
We've gone from having the most important job in the world, and that's feeding people, but we've got to preserve the future of the planet.
There are a number of things that could happen with agri-commodities as we think about the next growing season and look into 2023. I think the weather is always a consideration, but beyond that we also wonder if we're going to see some erosion on the demand side around, how much animal feed we actually require. So we've got some pressures in terms of will we get the yield that we want, and remember of course that we also have high fertiliser costs, and with high fertiliser costs we may see more limited application of fertiliser, which creates a bit of a penalty on the yield side. So we could see quite tight supply going right into 2023, and we also may see demand coming off a little bit. But on balance, when we think about these competing factors, we believe that actually prices for agri-commodities, for the feed that goes into so much of the poultry industry, are going to remain at high levels going into 2023.
Between January and October alone, we saw situations of basic food commodities, whether it's yam, whether it's cassava, whether it's tomato, going up to the region of 74% in terms of the increment, just between the beginning and the end of 2021. The situation has lessened over the last few months, and there is almost zero guarantee that it will slow down. So my point is, we need to have a conversation around some of these challenges and fix the problems. One of the key ways around fixing it is localizing our food supply chain. It doesn't make sense that we still spend more than $2 billion importing food annually, including foods like rice, that more than enough of it can be grown in places like Hawaii and others. So that's obviously something that we need to pay attention to. And for me, it goes back to the appropriate investment, the necessary prioritization, less propaganda, and really doing the things that matter, like making the necessary investment and building the food chain from bottom up and not as a top-down kind of approach.
And in this edition, we talk about how Ghana can benefit from the new innovations in the agriculture space across the world. My name is Prince Apia.
Of course, Prince Apia brings us more on Food Chain tomorrow at 4 p.m. Please make a date for that. In the meantime, the stock market closed this week recording a year-to-date loss of 8.55%. However, trading activity was buoyant with one gainer and a loser. We've been joined via Zoom by Adam Agama, Head of Trading and Business Development at Republic Securities, to share some perspectives on how things fared. Adam, first of all, tell us how trading fared on the equity or stock market this week.
Okay, good evening. Activities on the stock market this week increased by 120%, mainly on the back of MTN Ghana. The market recorded total trade volumes of 10.55 million shares, representing total value traded of 9.57 million Ghana cedis. The composite index fell slightly, recording a year-to-date loss of 8.55%, whilst the financial stock index dropped some points to close at a year-to-date gain of 1.57%. SIC gained 2 pesos to close at a 3-year high of 30 pesos per share, whilst Cal Bank fell back to its year low of 80 pesos after losing 7 pesos this week. For next week, we expect SIC and Access Bank to gain some pesos based on the buying pressures on the market, whilst MTN and ETI are likely to lose some pesos based on the selling pressures on the market.
Impressive. It does seem that there was some kind of bullish activity. But should investors be upbeat about the market next week?
Yes, investors need to also look at the dividend-paying stocks. For those that will still be in the qualifying stage, they should look at those stocks and they can be able to gain something this year out of them.
We shall be looking forward to that. Thank you very much for your analysis on how stocks fared on the market. Well, that's how we end the bulletin. But of course, let's have some summary on Funded, how best to fund your business ideas.
Hello guys, and you are once again welcome to Fund It with me, Dr. Thelma Frimpong-Mensah of the Desert Youth Services and Consultancy. Today, we're going to talk about modern ways of raising money for your business or finding modern source to fund your business. It is good to know the modern kind of funding that is available. One of the most common one is called crowdfunding. Now, crowdfunding is basically getting people to invest in your business via the internet. Although in our part of the world it is not so common because you will need a US bank account for that, which means that crowdfunding is currently available to only those who are in the US. But who knows, if you have a relative in the US who can help you with their bank account, then you are good to go. And so it is one modern means of raising capital for your business. And so if you find yourself in a situation where crowdfunding is prudent for your business idea, go for it and make use of all the available modern means of raising funds for your business.
And from Fund It, let's now bring you updates on business development internationally. And those were international business stories. Back home, we have more on myjoyonline.com, where you could see the very first story featured the MCC welcomes government's decision to cancel PDS deal, of which we brought you details in the course of the bulletin. Also, GCB Bank to pay a total dividend of 132.5 million cedis to shareholders, disbursements to be done in August 2021. That's some good news there for shareholders of GCB. I'm Charles Ayitey. Many thanks for watching. Up next is Prime Sports with Eriko Ampofo. Do stay with Joy News.